in that previous series about 8 days ago. And for Wildcard, they also do have a young North American rifler on their team, Peeping. They're both around the same age, Peeping and Grizz. So we'll see who is the better of the youngins and who's the better of the veterans. I don't think anyone has Stanislaus' level of veteranship, if you will, on this.
No one has the walker. No, yeah. If we're talking about age, he's on the walker. Let's be honest. He's been knees are giving out.
I mean, hey, mine are too. So.
Mine are bad. We are into the action, though. Marsborne on the T side. It makes sense this is their map pick, and most teams love to start on the defense. Grizz straight out, no frills. Some utility thrown to smoke off camera. He'll find one, but Fiku finds Chop in the meanwhile. Visit range finds a second. Wolfie, another. JBA, this flank has to come in huge. He has the dualies, though, and they're going to struggle at that range, especially with the gush from Sixy. It is just Stanislaus, the old dog that we mentioned before. We poked fun of before. In a 1 versus 4. He has a flash, no kit, and no armor. And there should be no real chance for him this round. The issue is there's nothing for him to save either. It is the pistol round. He's probably not long for this world. Trying to find just something, but Viz is the one to swing and best him. Very a solid start for Marsborne. Again, straight out towards A. No respect, no time given. And a very solid opening from Grizz to start off this map and this series.
Yeah, incredibly solid round to start things off. And he got a lot of assists from Sixy. No actual kills, but he created space, he drew fire, and allowed his team to get kills. And that's one of the roles he can play. He's a Swiss Army knife at this point. And at this level of Counter-Strike in this region, I don't suspect he'll have much trouble having success. It's going to be mostly a save for the Wildcard side, as Chop's going to run through all alone, get 2, has help for the 3rd, does not quite get the 4th, as Fiku's the last man standing on the explosion inner sight. Just that deagle in hand, no utility to speak of, no armor, and he'll just lurk around for an exit, maybe get lucky on something.
Wasn't a buy, wasn't a save.
No. It was mostly a save. If you wanted to get specific about it, it was all but a save. And Grizz only takes 1 shot, already going for a classic spam tactical crouch combo. Man, have I missed NA.
So have I. No, I didn't miss, Boggs. Train. I hate this map so much. Listen, I hate this map. It is so bad.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it either.
It's okay. It's a miniature version of what it was, and the rain is beautiful, but oh boy, does it hurt my computer.
Yeah, I'm still on a 2080 Super. I don't have a new graphics card. It chugs. It smokes.
I'm on a 2080 regular.
Engine. Oof.
Yes. So, dire straits we find ourselves in.
What a nade. I thought that was going to do more damage.
Wildcard. I'm surprised they went for the investment. They were lacking a bit of utility, or money to buy utility if they wanted rifles, I should say. But they're still making it work. They found the opening around the smokes very early on. Grizz the second walking through Ivy. I like Marsborne switching up the plays, but it's not working quite yet. Wolfie finds one. Okay, Wolfie a second. Surprise second on to Peeping despite his low HP. It's now Chop on the bonus, Mac 10 versus 3, and I believe he was spotted as well. Still finds one for his troubles. 3 kills is good damage from the likes of Marsborne on their bonus. But a very quick one. And this time it pans out in the favor of Wildcard. But again, their economy's not set. They still have to make some compromises. It's a better buy than last time, but the MP9 leaves a good amount. Never mind, there's no MP9. We got a rifle dropped over. So, while they're not set economically just yet, they don't have that bank built up, they still have a solid buy in round 4.
But Wolfie's picked up an op, and Train, the more things change, the more they stay the same. The op is still a must on this map. But JBA and Fiku get aggressive. 2 kills, Wolfie and Sixy done and dusted. Viz down to about half HP as well. A fiery start for Wildcard as they take the fight to Marsborne. VQ around the corner, might just catch Chop off. No, Chop crouches, keeps himself alive and grabs 2. Peeping trades, puts a 2 versus 3. Salvageable if they can find Peeping around the boxes here. Grizz and Viz back away. Viz caught on retreat. Grizz 11 HP. And unless there's some magic in store for Grizz, there is no shot he can make this work. And they'll attempt to get rid of the op at any rate. That's a smart move. Don't give a free op over. And any extra damage you can get will help with the economy battle, but there's not much else he can do in this round.
No. I think Wolfie just got spammed through the smoke. I think he was the second casualty in the round. He didn't get to shoot his op. He was smoked off, and he got shot through the smoke.
Yep.
Not allowed to play the game, unfortunately. Chop had a good double to try and bring it back, but him falling and that spam onto both Grizz and I can't remember who it was, and towards T-Con really was what sealed the deal on this one. A very quick 2 in a row from Wildcard to answer the pair from Marsborne. And now it's Marsborne's turn to struggle economically. Don't have a lot of money in the bank, not even 3K. The most they have is 2.6 on Chop. That means at most maybe a pistol. If I had to guess, Chop might buy some flashes so they can go towards B fast or go out T-Con fast and try to thrive in chaos. But no, it's going to be a full save. $0 invested, just Glocks. I had to guess they're going to try and make this round a rather quick one. Given that lack of weaponry.
Yeah, it's just a round to get over and done with here, if you're Marsborne. If you can eke out a plant, cool. Not exactly going to be expected. A kill would be nice, but again, not expected. Don't die to the MP9 is the best case scenario. The dink is not bad on Peeping, but the dink's all they'll get for now. Maybe we'll get a little bit more, but as it stands, it's just delaying the inevitable from the Marsborne side on this attacking half of Train. Like this little chip damage from Fiku. Wolfie does get it. So there's 1 kill from the T side. That's mission accomplished at this point. No second kill, 2 kills in the MP9. Wildcard will get their lead. But not too shabby from Marsborne. They get their kill. And now they can get back at it.
Said it was going to be a quick one. That was awkwardly long. Marsborne waiting for Wildcard to get aggressive. Wildcard, of course they don't bite. It's a Stanislaw team. The most amount of aggression they had was just pushing in towards long pop. Long dog, long pop. One of those terms. Marsborne still don't have the best buy. They have a Galil on Grizz, no op for Wolfie. Utility isn't the best. Wildcard starting to build up a bit of a bank for themselves, and they're actually getting aggressive now. It's their turn to change the pace, pushing all the way up the prior mentioned long dog. But Marsborne playing passive, waiting for the CTs to use their utility. After that, they'll make their play.
VQ. He's been good on the CT side, rotating around in the CT halls. Buddy system broken up. Wolfie's going to get those sound cues. Smoke drops in. Wolfie, can he slip the gap? They're ready for him. But Stanislaw doesn't even fire. Gets 1 shot off before Wolfie rips his head from his shoulders. But Wolfie's all distraction here. The bulk of the Marsborne team is working towards the inner exec. Although they've stalled out here, they have to go. This is 2015 Na'Vi waiting until 15 seconds to go. And Wildcard have taken the bait. They've all rotated outer yard. And this is a brilliant chance for Marsborne to hold this B site with 5. Bomb going down, rotations coming back in. JBA 1, traded out by 60. He's still around as well. Wolfie strikes again. Peeping, spotted, and removed. Fozy last man alive with no HP, is stuck between hammer and anvil. Wolfie has the rotation. The rest of Marsborne hold the site. There is no escape for Fozy. He'll have to fight his way out. And even one would be nice. Not expected. None is all he gets. Nice little peek there by Viz.
They knew he had to be somewhere. You mentioned it. Wolfie had the rotation. The team had Z from the start. No way he could be there given that he was spotted towards CT. It was simply a matter of clinically clearing the angles slowly and with patience. Very well done from Marsborne to hunt that player down with no casualty. Back to a tied ball game, 3 a pop. Wildcard, I mentioned they built up a bank, but now they have to spend it all to get a buy. And the X factor in this round is Fozy. He has the op this time around for the defense. No op for Wolfie to challenge. We'll have to see if it can have that early impact at the longer range engagements. Peeping. Burns down to 20. Fiku nated down to 60. Very good early utility damage from the likes of Marsborne. They've also pulled a lot of utility out of the belts of Wildcard as well.
Which is always a good thing to do on your T side, especially on a map like Train, where it's so utility heavy to stall out counter pushes and choke points. So for Marsborne, they've done quite well to start. I don't know if Fozy spotted. There's no way Fozy spotted it. Now he knows, but the smoke. He had no idea Grizz was there. Takes the shot, reveals his position, although Grizz saw. I don't think he knew he was an op. That's a good amount of information. No big green for Wolfie yet. Not this round. And Marsborne are playing this so incredibly slow.
Painfully.
Yeah, again, 2015 Navi. And the op strikes for one. Nice drive-by Grizz. And he might even find the op. No, he can't. But 60 swings out. Fozy another. Traded by Danny. Still 2 versus 2. JBA and Stanislaw. Wolfie to plant the bomb. 60 on coverage, but he goes down. The veteran comes through. Wolfie, nothing doing as Stanislaw takes the site back himself. And Wildcard will maintain their lead by a tenuous round. Bomb down, +3 kills. Another buy's coming through from Marsborne. Surely, as they're keeping pace on this T side of Train right now. Not exactly what you want to see if you are Wildcard, knowing that your own T side is only at a 40% win rate and your CT side at 80.5.
That is an absurd stat line for Wildcard.
In 7 games, I'd like to add.
Now, Marsborne, more respectable stat lines, but also they've played this map 19 times in the last 3 months. 61.4% on the CT, 47.4 on the T. Marsborne's
notable
buy
opposition, though.
It is notable. This is a scrappier buy than I thought it would be. I think Grizz, did he drop the op over? Is that why he's on only a Tech 9?
I think so.
An interesting sacrifice, but I do like it. JBA playing back of long haul. Swings out. Oh, too many players posted on the angle. It's Chop to find that kill with the Galil. Very good one to find. Fozy as well is tagged down to 17. His op was the hero in the round prior that slowed down Marsborne's offensive long enough for rotations to come through. It's going to be far more difficult for him to shine like he did with the lack of HP. Marsborne, though, already shifting gears back towards A. Stanislaw is here in the back halls. Fozy is in rotation. Marsborne back to the classic. Less than a minute left, still slowly clearing things out. It looks like a contact play is on the cards. And there's the contact. Sigsy's the one on the opening. Very good find on the first. Fiku now waiting for his teammates to get into position before he aggresses, jumping over what he thinks will be a smoke, and it is. Fozy gonna activate over towards Hell, sinking out. Has to worry about T-Con though. Does he get by? Is he spotted? I'm not sure. Stanislaw though, he's the one to find the next kill. I believe it was the planter. 4 versus 3 for Marsborne. This is still recoverable for the likes of Wildcard, as they have successfully waited out the utility thrown on the exec.
And I think it's going to be a Wildcard contact saved, but the quick kills from Stanislaw and Fozy, despite Fiku going down, this retake is on in a 2 versus 2. There was a chance they go for the save here with Fozy on such low HP as well. 60 no scope, but he got the first. Chop is there for the free finisher. Op will be picked right back up for Wolfie. And Marsborne keep pace, moving forward here into round number 9. Good work there from Marsborne yet again. Of course, 60. Cutting players down, so is Chop. And this is going to be our first tactical timeout of this series. Wildcard going for it as the sand leaves the hourglass. And their money's not great here, so it's an interesting call to use the tack into this kind of a round. And it seems that Wildcard are leaning into going for a full force here. They know the importance of the rounds on CT's side, knowing how defensive this map is favored. And this buy, this hope, this last-ditch try, 3 5.7s, an MP9, and an M4. Utility sparse, 4 smokes, 2 flashes, make it 3, a nade, and an incendiary. No helmets, no kits. It all comes down to the firepower. And meanwhile, Marsborne have 2 guys on Galils. That means every single Wildcard player is headshotable, one-shot headshot, by those $1,800 carbines. That's going to make a big difference too, potentially, when it comes to the duels, as Viz will spray down a blind Fiku. Good flash over top by 60. Viz does take a lot of damage, but again, that's just one of those Galils at the early contact, and a pretty heavy hitter removed early on. And I think 60 might have spotted Peeping through that gap. Yeah, Peeping's going to clear around. It's a good win by the MP9. No trade there for Danny. It's an upgraded gun, but look at the space gained elsewhere in Ivy for this Marsborne side. And there's nobody really here besides a late rotate from Stanislaw.
It's still doable, though. This is low. That left. Oh, the angle from Peeping. He goes back in towards Hell. He has that upgraded weapon from 60. And this tack pause might just pay off. 4 versus 2. Wolfie and Chop. Chop should not be long for this world. Left-hand peek, not good enough against Fozy. And Wolfie might just try to save this op for later on in the game. Very surprised that this aggression from Wildcard works out as well as it did.
I think a lot of that's predicated upon the entry on 60. If he gets both, then it's a completely different story. You don't get that extra aggression through T-Con. You don't get that rifle for Peeping, which is the turning point in the round. That angle, too, towards Ivy, absolutely brilliant. And Wildcard are going to keep their lead as the rounds go back and forth. No bomb plant means Marsborne are going to be on a force buy at best. I'm going to guess they're going to buy around the op here. Yeah, they're on double leak anyway, so they're going to have to buy around the op. Oh, never mind. No op. After time. Night, Wolfie. That's a great punish from Stanislaw. Sure, they don't get the op for Fozy, but that economic damage, that punish, is twisting a knife in that round.
Is unreal from Stanislaw. Very big one to find, and Marsborne still have to force into it, but now they don't have that cannon in the back lines to support. It's just pistols, 1 Deagle, and 4 Tech 9s. Straight play towards Ivy appears to be the call. At least 3 players to make that 4. 1 in T-Con lurking. Big is already up. Peeping, holding, finds 1, spots 2 more. Spams away, has support from JBA. He will fall, but still 3 kills and now 4 between them. Stanislaw catches the lurk of 60 over towards T-Con. And the round is over very quickly. No bomb plant, only 1 kill. And a very solid round for Wildcard as they look to stabilize and right the ship in this first half. Because as we mentioned, you need a lot of rounds on the CT side of this map of Train.
If they can get the 8-4, that gives them a foundation, a chance to pull this back and take the Marsborne pick. And this round will give them a prime opportunity against the Glocks. all comes down to round 12, the next one. That's really where the difference will be made in this map, in this first half. It's really where we can see what Wildcard is made of as well. I think Marsborne will have confidence in their T side. It's a mop-up job here for the Marsborne defenders. A couple of M4 kills going across. And a bit of a messy win by Fiku at the end, but it will be a flawless one. No losses. Not like it really mattered with the economy and it being last round. But this is where Wildcard have to stake their claim. Think if you're Marsborne, you can't be too happy about 4 rounds, but it's not the worst thing. It's not the end of the world. You can definitely break it back on the CT side. The pressure's on Wildcard here.
Yes, it is. 5-7 will be a very solid half from Marsborne. A sneaking suspicion they have all they really need, given this map. Deeping though. Up, through, long dog, finds 1, finds 2. Marsborne might have finally been read through and through by the likes of Wildcard. 3 remain: Wolfie, Viz, and Grizz. All going up, back to clear the brown halls. Even if they can take this B site, 3 versus 5 retake, still an uphill battle.
The damage on Fiku and peeping does open a door for Marsborne, especially if they get the bomb down. Fiku is one of those defenders here on B as well. JBA might be a little difficult to unseat, but Fiku could just get timing. However, the bomb is going to rotate its way into A. Stanislaw primed on the position, ready to fire, peeping there to support as well. Where is the utility? Where is the play? 34 seconds to go. Marsborne have to execute. Viz is running Operation Lurk and Distract, but it's not going to work out. But now, as Stanislaw gets felled, Fozy is there to drop the bomb, and Viz so far away with no time on the clock. There's nothing he can do. This round is over before it really begins in earnest, and it's Fozy to put him down in the end. An 8-4 lead for Wildcard going into the T half of their opponent's pick. We'll see if they can pull it back in the second half.
Sometimes you gotta pray for a victory. Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural. I've been tested so much, all these wrestlers nights, all these different situations that I've been through. I seen pain trying to creep in through the window, but now I'm sliding through the hood in a Benzo. You gotta separate yourself just to elevate. I keep some drink in my cup to see through the hate. Sometimes on the road to glory, you gotta press the brakes. I got a lesson plan for all my past mistakes. I swear I'm proud of all my best and my worst days. Proud of on my feet when I touch the ground. Front of 8 at Beijing, man, ain't know the sound. I know I made mistakes, but my mama proud. Fans scream my lyrics out in the background. They ain't know me then, but I'm hot now. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. Life down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. I'm faced with a lot of different choices these days. Do a rock and roll, Lex account a blue face. The whole world know my name off a mixtape. I still got the same brothers since 6th grade. G-Wagon, red seats, we on Biscayne. Trips to the Florida Keys, we imported these. Thanking God for the life he afforded me. All this jewelry on my body, I could like the hood. I need a brown skinned chick just like Megan Good. Holding up every promise that I ever made. music in the background, it's a serenade. Been rapping 10 years, boy, this ain't a phase. I paid dues, paid rent, and I stayed the same. I had teardrops running down my face. I've been through a lot, I had real pain, but thank God, cause we really on a better days. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When it done bad, you gotta pay the price. I've been through hell and back just to live this life. They say life's a gamble, you gotta roll the dice. I risked a lot of different things just to live this life. When you down bad, you gotta pay the price.
Very solid recovery from Wildcard at the later stages of that first half. Gives them a solid lead heading into the second. But the question is, will it be enough? Train, a notoriously CT-sided map, and they now find themselves over on the offensive instead. It's Pineapple Phillips and Boggs on the mic. And Fozy, Stanislaw, and JBA with 3 pieces of utility between them. Straight out A is the call, much like their opponents. The issue is they don't get site control or an early kill. They do force that player away and get the bomb plant, but a 5 versus 5 retake is going to be scrappy and chaotic.
Chaos round, as you so aptly dub it. Stanislaw gets the opening on the retake. The bomb plant already down is a good start for Wildcard, but Wolfie's dualies will get one. Fizz another. Good flash from 60 over top. Damage being sustained by Wildcard, but time ticking away, becoming their ally. 2 for Peeping, 1 from Fiku, and it's all down to Wolfie. He's charging in, but he cannot get by the young Peeping, who's over at 2.0 KD, now at 15 with 3 on the round. And Wildcard, what a critical pistol round to try and steal away the map pick of Marsborne here and claim their spot in the North American Finals. Out of this second ECL Season 50 North American Cup, Peeping is really heating up here. He's had some great angles, some great reads. He's been brilliant so far on map 1. Fozy's been solid too, but there has been no counter to Peeping on the Marsborne side. I think that's the biggest problem right now. Peeping's been unstoppable.
Yes, he has. Marsborne, though, are not going to go quiet into the next round. They are going to force by Wolfie going for the scout. So Famas for Viz, 2 MP9s, and a 5.7 for the rest of the team. Marsborne have some upgraded rifles, but are looking to harvest some cash with those MAC-10s. They hit the head of their opponents. It will do tremendous damage and aim punch them to oblivion. Of course, they have to hit those shots in order for it to have any impact. Town Halls is the name of the game right now for this T side. Out, JBA goes alone, and he will be chopped down by the MP9. Peeping runs into 60 in the smoke, though, and that's 60's undoing. Chop now, up close, has to do a good bit. He has Grizz as support, but Chop falls after only finding 1. It's 3 kills the way of Marsborne, leaving just Wolfie on the scout in a 1v3. Everybody's damaged. He is technically able to one-shot everybody, but of course he doesn't know that. We'll go to Famas. He's weary of Stanislaw. But Stanislaw, as we mentioned, very disciplined. He does not overextend. Wolfie going to have a lot of trouble getting this one. Finds 1, spots a second.
He's out of time.
There's the third, is probably close. There's the spot. The second secured, but Fiku swings at the perfect time. A hard-fought round, but a round that Wildcard win nonetheless, as they are now 3 away from stealing the map pick of Marsborne. And they have some breathing room as well, thanks to the failed force buy of... Never mind, they don't have the breathing room. There's no eco coming through. It's going to be another force buy out of Marsborne.
When in doubt, force buy. It's like they say, the answer is always Miata. The answer is always force buy. I'm not saying it's a good answer, but it's always the answer. And it might just work. If it doesn't, I mean, if you're Marsborne, you have to kind of take a gamble here. Risk it for the biscuit. And that's a good bit of damage there by Wolfie. Tags down 1 very heavily. Dan grabs the second tag onto Fozy as well. The scout paying some damage dividends, and that should help when it comes down to the duels. Wildcard hemorrhaging early, as Fiku also took some damage as well. The bomb marching through Brown Halls, though, will go in down towards B. Chop's got the MP9. Grizz long range with the FAMAS to try and help. Let's see how this will go. The rotations are not terribly far away, particularly 60. So he's starting to worm his way back towards B. Might have a pop dog fight too against the full HP Stanislav, but this is going to at least telegraph something towards A. It's not going to bite though. Marsborne's going to hold their line. That's a very disciplined job there from the CTs. As out they come. Grizz one, Chop another. And the rotations will swing on through. 60 from the back line. Grizz doubles down as Chop falls. Grizz another around the train before Wolfie can finish one off with the scout. And Marsborne, they forced last round. They lost. They force this round, they win, and they buy themselves critical time. They give themselves 2 rounds as margin for error. They reset Wildcard, who call a tack timeout. But the last time they called one of these onto a force buy with minimal pistol upgrades, they won that round. It's going to be difficult here for Marsborne. They'll have to hold their ground. Don't give a rifle over for free.
The force buy. Coming out of the Marsborne camp. And I love that setup from the defense as well, because it was very similar to the round prior. Almost exactly the same. One player was below Heaven instead of up top. 60 fell in the round prior. Player down below, though, found tremendous success on the MP9. They had a FAMAS in range instead of a second MP9. And that really just paid off. 60 playing close towards Long Dog as well. Allowed him to hear the fake from Stanislaw and hear him run away. It's a very solid setup from Wildcard to make sure they didn't over-rotate or play too reactionary. Chop now is going to be tested. Straight run through down below. Chop finds one, but didn't get around the train in time. He's caught from the side by Fozy. Wolfie's scout misses its opportunity, and it's tagged low now. Bomb planted. Wolfie in the chaos finds one. Grizz fails the shot on the second. Fiku gets one. Grizz a trade. 2 versus 3 now, but Wolfie and Grizz are both very low, and bomb is ticking. Ooh. Good shot from Grizz on 1 HP. Viz finds the second, and plenty of time for the defuse. A very, very, very chaotic round. There was never a dull moment after the execute came through. But in the end, it is still Marsborne continuing to stabilize, keeping 3 alive, and securing the round.
And this time will be a deco from Wildcard. Another opportunity for Marsborne to close the gap, minimize casualties, build up a CT economy, which is not that strong. 60, Grizz, and Viz are okay. Meanwhile, Wolfie and Chop scraping the bottom of the barrel. Searching through the couch cushions for change. They can't really allow a Wildcard win or even 3 kills. 2 kills would be hard enough to suffer, so we'll see what Marsborne can do on the defense. I think too, Chop's learned his lesson, not playing around the bomb train against a potential pistol rush. That was a little overzealous from him, especially on an A1S too. Maybe he gets the fire rate out with the A4. It's still going to be essentially a one and done position if they charge on down.
The Tech-9's really caught him out. The lack of damage from an incendiary grenade really is notable there.
Yeah, they got about 1 tick each player. Not a lot at all. The CT incendiaries are basically useless sometimes, especially on those kind of pushes.
It to be thrown even further ahead than you'd think. Stanislaw again on this lurk up towards Heaven. Looking for something. Toying. But it's a Wildcard's turn to do the last second execute. The Eagles were hoping for an overextension. No such a luck.
Nice.
Grizz. It's a clean one. Caught the player Ivy. No swing for a trade either. Wolfie on his off, though, needs to be careful. He's missed a shot. Tagged one through the box on the second. 60 here to sport, though. That should be the round. Wolfie gets his 1 kill. It's just JVA and T-Con. No kills to be spoken of. It's Grizz with 3. And Marsborne now only trailing by 3. They're showing us why this side of the map is so powerful.
Yeah, that second force is what brought them new life. And now they have the op out for Wolfie. Probably going to have a little easier of a time against non-pistol players. Against rifles, movement speed is slower. Peaks are less risky, we'll say. And there's still a Khalil for Stanislaw. Helmets across the Marsborne side, though. That's a chunky nade onto the Pop Dog players. Good start from Wolfie. 6 swings, gets a dink, but there is no finish. Fizz, however, has eliminated Fiku, and I believe he just spotted the jump of Peeping as well. That's the bomb spotted, too. Massive info gained by Viz as he plays around the ladder. Chop, flanking slow through Pop Dog. Is expected by JBA, but the health is not going to favor the young gun. And so he falls, cut down in his prime. With Peeping and Foes, the last two alive. Viz around the corner, waiting for somebody to make a move. There's help too. Wolfie and Grizz, both around. Wolfie lets him cross. Bait and switch doesn't keep Wolfie alive. The op should get recovered here. I would think they got the money. They won't need to. Keep the AKs.
This has got 11K. You can drop one.
Yeah.
They have stabilized. There's the op. 60 might even get dropped the gun as well. That's how rich Viz is right now. And 8 to 10, Marsborne have found themselves right at home. They've found their stride on the CT side, and Wildcard, at this point, just need to get rounds on the board. It doesn't matter how scrappy they are, how ugly they are. They need something to push them across that line. They've gone onto the site, they've gotten the bomb plant at least a couple of times, but they need to actually put it all together. Viz up close, flashed, good flash from Fozy for Fiku to get the opening, and now Stan runs forward. This is what they need, 2 kills. Wolfie gets 1. But they can still cascade into this site. Grizz, another. So we're still at even footing, but I was going to say they can now be anywhere. Fiku in the smoke is caught by Wolfie, weary of such a play. Fozy, though, on site, unexpected. Back to even footing once again. Still anybody's round. The Pistols are making their way through this one slowly yet surely. Fozy crossing in, wants the support by jumping up on top of the train, spots one down in hell. Wolfie on his deagle, spams away in response. Just JBA. He was known to be at Olaf at one point or another. Wolfie's just stuck bouncing between 2 angles. It's all on timing. Held to the right angle, but still JBA wins the fight 1v1. Wildcard do at long last put another round on the board, but now they need to translate that victory into something more.
I think it's the aggression, though, from Marsborne that gives him the opening. You know that your opponents are on a weaker buy. Why are you pushing? Why are you giving them the close-range duels? That's my question. If Viz doesn't go down quick, it's a much tighter fight around the site. Much more difficult to win for Wildcard. Marsborne might have been able to succeed with the extra player in. So we'll get a technical pause here. Hopefully it's not too long. They haven't been bad today at all, so not going to think it's going to be too bad. But
we have full investment, so there's no way that they're still having issues.
Maybe it's a mouse or something like that.
That's true.
Oh, there we are.
There we go.
We're back. Probably just somebody had to plug in a mouse, or you know how wireless tech is.
Yeah, it's just like if there's a tech pause, there's no way you're investing. You're more focused on fixing the tech problem.
Yep. Well,
JB was the only survivor. That means one of the other 9 had to be the problem, and they've bought. So, quick one, thankfully.
Much appreciated, lads.
Fozy and Wolfie, both on big greens. On just the Galil. And aggression, we talked about it. Stanislaw still going to go through yet again, this time not to the same result. He's caught, as is his teammate Fiku. JBA caught in the backlines. Viz drops Fozy. Last alive is Peeping. He'll get 1 swinging with the Galil. He'll grab the op as well to try to find more. He shouldn't be able to find anything. 60 just toying with him. Wolfie going to hold this runaway. Should have this kill. It's the leg shot. Not that the op throwing away matters. I don't think anybody wants a second op onto this CT side.
Not this close. If Marsborne had a lead and it wasn't a close game, yeah, I could see 60 picking up that secondary op. Have a little fun with it. But definitely not down rounds and in such a tight game. Entered a grand final, too. There's no reason to risk things unnecessarily. And that's something that Marsborne did well in that round. They still had a little bit of aggression, but it was taking range duels this time. Not getting up close and personal. Using the smokes to their advantage. Good move there by 60, getting that opening pick, and then everything else just snowballed. Later on, Viz went aggressive. Chop! He does get cut down, and the bottleneck up in Brownhall does not cost Wildcard. That's a big break, as Fiku is felled in the interim. 60 goes aggressive out towards Ivy, and he'll back away, bringing it to a 4 versus 4. Again, a veteran move there from Danny, as he wants to maintain at least level footing. This is a very important round.
It's a crazy call. It is a very important round, but the hero op is crazy.
I mean, they still have decent money. That's the thing.
Dude, but he won't be able to get an op in the next if he wants it.
No, but if they win this round, it's over.
Touché. Wolfie wins the opper's duel. Secures an advantage for the defense. Recovered AK, though, could still do damage. Peeping is the one with it in hand. Stan is right at his back. Support. Get a trade, perhaps. Contact A is the call. Good lineup from Viz, though. Very well timed on the swing. It is just JBA. He picked up the op from Fozy. Back at Ivy. He has 30 seconds left. We'll go for something. Finds Viz. Still needs 3 more, though. No bomb. He's going to save it. Or at least try to. And he'll get 60 as well for his troubles. So maybe he will be allowed to save this gun for the following.
I don't think Marsborne can afford to hunt, but they're going to go for it. They've spotted him out, and they finished the job. They want to take out that op more importantly than ever and deny the big green gun going the way of Wildcard in round 22. And they do just that. No sniper for Wildcard. It's going to be full AKs. Despite how good Fozy has been throughout the course of this map, both him and Peeping racking up the kills. But the Marsborne side is starting to come alive as a collective. It's not just a two-man show. That's the more important thing. The beating heart of Marsborne, stronger than that of Wildcard down the stretch, but Chop again aggressive. He's done this too many times in a row. He's expected. He's finally punished with no trade potential. Man advantage to kick off this round for Wildcard as they start to work around the map. A little bit of presence A, a little bit of presence B. Only one to defend the B site, that is 60. Stanislaw around with that Molotov in hand. Grizz on the other side of the wall. But it's all going to come down to what 60 can do. Can he hold the line? Can he get 2? If he can get 2 plus delay, that would be immense. He's going to face first and get the first kill, but he takes a lot of damage. Rotating around the train. Here's the footsteps are coming. They're coming around the bend, and Stanislaw cuts him down. Smoke's coming in. Grizz spots out Fiku, but he wins the fight. Things are crumbling for Marsborne. They don't exactly have a ton of residual money. I think a save call is necessary, and that'll put Wildcard on map point here on the pick of Marsborne. Maybe those 8 rounds were enough.
Just barely enough, I would think. This has come down to the wire. It's very weird. We've seen that exact play from Stanislaw. The fake in towards A and the run back long dog. The difference was Peeping was also in T spawn to line up some utility to make it look like a more of a fake than it was. That delays the rotation, leaves 60 isolated. And sure, 60 can offer some resistance, finding 1, but when he's alone, he can't find much more than that. Deserved 12th and map point for Wildcard on their opponent's map pick. Marsborne still a solid investment, but they need 2 in a row to get to overtime.
To kick this off on overtime would be, well, it would be very North America, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
The top teams in NA are separated by a very thin margin, and the run through takes a lot of damage. JBA 29 HP, 70 HP on Viku, and JBA and Viku both get kills. Viz and Grizz, they hit the deck before 6. Can at least get one back. And despite all that initial damage, all the good start, Marsborne did everything right, but the finish. And that's the most important thing. You cannot win the rounds without getting those kills. And the rotation in towards B is quick, it's timely, and Wildcard are getting the bomb down in safety. Wolfie can't see it. Oh, he spots the bomb cross a little bit too late. That is unlucky for him, as this is now an entrenched T side. Fozy, one more, 2 left standing, Wolfie and Sixy. But who is in the back lines? It's Viku. He spotted Sixy crossing through Z. Wildcard know everything. They have all the information. And Sixy's got one. Taken down by Fozy. Viku peeks, he swings, he drops the HE, Wolfie to 20, it's peeping to finish, and Wildcard steal away their opponent's map pick here in the first map of this grand final. It takes a little bit longer on the T side than they would have liked. They get the job done, and that's what matters. It's 13-10 and 1
Left the minimap, but also makes it a really easy way to understand kind of the ideas of trading utility for control, trading damage for control, and goes back to that old adage where you're trading damage, you're trading utility, and you're trading map control, and you have to do it in the most advantageous way possible.
It really does simplify the visual of the chess match that is Counter-Strike. And I just feel like it really exemplifies it as well playing. You know,
yes.
When you're playing it, it all makes sense. It all comes together in a nice little bow. And we're getting one of the most classic Overpass strats of all time. Rush B through Monster, flashes high, sight utility thrown on the run, smokes down to guys off vision. One player in pit will try and swing. It's Chop and Grizz with a couple of kills. Chop is destroyed, but Viku is still around as is Stanislaw. Grizz pushes through though, running out of ammunition. Knife is out, and Viku's down, keeping the last alive on the Glock. Will do what he can to try and salvage things. Domed by Sixy. And Marsborne take a critical pistol on their opponent's map pick. Definitely need a strong CT side. So Overpass, much like its previous iteration, still a CT-sided map.
Relatively, both teams do have reasonable success on the T side. In fact, just from the limited number of maps played for Marsborne, they have a better overall record on the T side. But Wildcard are most certainly better on their defense as well. 56% win rate on that side. And in fact, a lot more reps on this map for Wildcard than Marsborne. Makes sense why they picked it. Cheeky little nade strat, I believe that was towards the sandbags boost. It won't connect this time around. Is forced by for Wildcard. Not finding any success. In fact, only an early loss in Viku. Marsborne, with the opening, are more than happy to fall back and hold their sights.
Don't want to lose a rifle, don't want to get exposed. There's a lot of positions on Overpass where you can get isolated, get flanked from a couple different angles, and you're not really going to be able to fight your way out of that, regardless of the weaker firepower on your opponent's possession. And so Marsborne do well to fade back, use side cover. Bit of an over-aggressive peek by Sixy as he'll dive back behind Dice. Nade is out. Wolfie towards long. Sprays away. Does a lot of damage. It's all chip damage right now for Marsborne. That's a good little read by Wolfie, and maybe another kill going his way. It's got the bomb spot at any rate.
Sixy finds one. Good deagle from Fozy, though, gets the trade. One deag onto the tagged player. Just 2 deagles left to try and do some damage. That's all they can really hope for. Fozy spots the flank in towards Khan. This is actually getting close front bathrooms by the garbage can. Grizz finds Fozy. Stanislaw, though, does find a trade to do some damage. Rifle will be recovered, though. Not many losses to be spoken of. given the fact that that was a bonus, or a force buy, excuse me, from the T side of Wildcard. Marsborne, solid opportunity now to make it a clean round 3 and build their economy from there.
And like always, it's very important to have a strong economy on the CT side. It's always hard to maintain that strong economy on the CT side, because we have a technical pause, which will let us talk about this a little bit more. But on Overpass, the reason it's so important is because of how long range the angles are. You kind of need rifles. Unless you're playing Con, you pretty much need a rifle. Con or short, the only places you can realistically get away with an SMG without needing to pull off something heroic. So, more so than the utility, you need the range to take out the Ts. Which makes Overpass a little bit of a unique scenario, where you think of your very economy-heavy CT maps like a nuke, like an Inferno, where it's so important for stalling out those choke points, but you can get away with the MP9s, with the shotguns. Overpass is kind of the opposite.
Yes, it is. You mentioned it, lots of long-range duels, angles that favor the op, so I'm very excited to see what happens when we get done with this early game shenanigans and get on to those actual rifle round proper. I want to see exactly what Wolfie and Fozy have planned, if they're going to really prioritize that op, if they're kind of going to go for rifles instead. Keen on seeing what comes through. Looks like the tech pause has concluded. Some pistols, but it is a half buy over on the T side of the equation. Going aggressive towards Fountain. Not running, but they're going slow in hopes of overwhelming the players up in bathrooms. And speaking of overwhelming, Wolfie had no helmet. He's caught by a pistol cleanly with a headshot. 4 versus 4 as Peeping did go down, but this can quickly snowball out of control. 60 gets one, but he's stuck between so many players. Fiku blindsides him. JBA now getting control of Optimus, pushing further forward into the A site. Chop on this flank, though, might just prevent the bomb plant as he finds one. 2 versus 3, still doable for the saving team, but Fiku now in a 1v3 doesn't expect 60 coming around the smoke. Marsborne avert disaster, but those openers leave a lot to be desired.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Train, doesn't it? Just some over-aggression, players getting isolated and caught out in tight angles, and that's something that Marsborne will have to work on, whether or not they win this grand final, whether or not they book their spot in the North American finals, or they have to battle it through the third cup. There's still a lot of work to do. And I guess that's a good thing for Marsborne in a way. They have a lot of growth. I do like the boost here. Both teams do get the ops out. Door's gonna get blown up. Nobody in Con to get found, smoke or not. And the boost will get dismantled. Marsborne playing a much more passive hold on the A site with that early info play towards B. Now starting to go towards a more standard 3-1 or 3-2 setup. We haven't really seen anybody prioritize Con too much from the CT side just yet, so we'll see if that ends up coming into play as well, as Wildcard are making full use of that side of the map. Such a critical point to own on Overpass. The rotation's so much easier. What a miss by Fozy. He's lucky to get out of that alive. 36 HP as flames burst on him. That is living right from the Wildcard Opper.
Very lucky. Don't squander this opportunity they gave you. 60 combining with Viz and a third teammate here, all playing in front bathrooms. Swing comes through. 60 catches 2 lined up, but fails to find either. JBA gets the kill. Wolfie now trying to hold for this push, can only get 1, and Stanislaw catches Viz as well. Very aware of that potential play. The 3-man stack in bathrooms collapses with a minimal response from the defense. Chop and Grizz, both at B, are now both slowly walking away. They want nothing to do with this round. If they can save, then their team should be able to get a solid investment into round 5. Wildcard finally find themselves a victory.
Yeah, and they're kind of gifted as well, as the Bathrooms players can get nothing. I mean, 60 got a lot of damage done. I think a lot of his shots hit the water fountain, which is bulletproof. But other than that, I mean, Viz coming up, he's got to get at least one there, if not two.
Terrorists win.
That's a drop ball right there. That's a fumble. That's a certified fumble right there.
The question is, do they lose the momentum entirely, or can they continue to find winning rounds? Wildcard still have their op in Fozzy's hands. We only saw it ring out, what, once? Maybe twice.
I think it was just once.
Engagement against 60 really had us worried.
I will say, Nate, there's one good way to get the momentum back after a fumble in football. And that's a big defensive play. It's exactly what Marsborne need. They might just get the start of it with Grizz opening things up through the smoke and monster. The lurker's gone.
Yeah. Timing works for him. Spots the second's feet as well. A double down for him. And it looks like Wildcard is the team to translate this into an advantage. 60, it's his turn on the lurk. He spots one. He's going to bide his time, and this might be the way to steal back the lead. 60. Oh, he's checked for. He gets the kill. He doesn't get the second he was hoping for. JBA now fighting back. Doesn't want to be stuck between two. It's quite the pickle to get yourself out of. Rosie. It's his turn to flank the flanker, and he will succeed. Catches the kneecaps of 60. This is a very awkward round as Marsborne got very aggressive. And at least one of the last two are both known to be over towards B, towards Monster. Wolfie swinging out, gets one. The up of Fozy, though, finds Viz. Just Wolfie versus two. Where is Stanislaw? He's now flanking over through A. This round's the definition of awkward. It's been flank on flank on flank.
That's Overpass.
15 seconds left. Wolfie gets one. Fozy. Good on the trade. It was an expensive round, but a round that Wildcard do win, stringing two in a row together now, and officially breaking that economy on the defense. Very solid opportunity for them now to tie things back up and steal away the momentum.
Really like the comms there between Fozy and Stan, too, because Stan's push is timed with Fozy coming out of disco. It's all done together. And that's some great communication coming through from Wildcard. I mean, Fozy and Stan have been teammates for a while now, so I guess it makes sense that they would have that kind of repertoire with each other. But overall, impressive work, but peeping. Drive-by Chop, who just takes the fight through sewer pipe. And now, Marsborne are thinking about going for a con duel. 60's flashed in, sees nothing. Wolfie up close on long, and a bit of a one and done. The 5-7 will do nothing. Takes a shot, but the op will win. And so we're back to a 4 versus 4. Grizz can upgrade to the AK, and I don't think JBA is able to hear him. And Grizz will slink back into the safety of the site. Wildcard a little bit shaken after that early drive-by kill. Something stabilized, but they're leaving one out on long. They're leaving Stan and moving back into B here. Meanwhile, Marsborne are leaning con A. There's nobody B-side proper. And Grizz is left sewer alone. He's just keeping an eye for a push. B-side is open. He spots out one, but he's going to get caught here. This is... I'm not sure what this CT side play was there from Marsborne.
I'm not sure either. 3 versus 4 across the map. At this point, a save is probably on the cards. Stanislaw, though, still hunting. Slips by 60. Neither party spots the other. 3-3. Saving 2 MP9s leaves a lot to be desired. Sixy caught on a very unfortunate timing. Wildcard, 3 a pop. They secure 3 rounds in a row.
Terrorists win.
Three rounds plus a pretty decent T economy, all things considered. Meanwhile, Marsborne are thinking about going for a half buy, buying to 2K or thereabouts. 5-7 for Sixy. MP9 for Viz. P250 on Wolfie, saving for that op. Nothing but a USPS for Grizz. And Chop has that hero rifle. He had the nice drive-by entry last round, but nothing much else. Sixy dodges the nade for the most part. That's a good heads-up play. But keep an eye on these two. This boost towards jungle. JBA, peeks, spotted. No jungle pop. As the push comes in, JBA 2, the rifle's gone. Viz does trade, peeping around the corner. Sixy sprayed down. He knows there's 2 towards short. Utility comes in. Viz 1 more. Grizz has a chance. 1 versus 3 to a 1 versus 2. The AK's in his hands. No armor, but he takes the fight to him. And Fozy equal to the task. A lead for Marsborne, or for Wildcard, excuse me now. It's Marsborne floundering despite the first 3 going their way. The CT side again, much like Train, is leaving a lot to be desired in my mind.
Mine as well. Gotten too static. And too aggressive at times. We've seen a lot of pushes that aren't supported. We saw, I guess 2-man pushes technically support, but 2 players picking the same angle, slightly different times, doesn't really work out. Tactical pause is well used here for Marsborne. We can see Viz and Chop get really activated. That would help them tremendously. We do have the ops on both sides yet again. Wolfie versus Fozy. Both had the same number of kills. I think most of us agree the op is easier to use on the defense.
Definitely is. And I don't think that'll ever change. Now the op on the defense needs to get activated. There is something that could be an X factor that turns the tide back to Marsborne's favor. It is an active CT op that's going, taking and winning fights. But it has to do all 3. It can't just take fights and lose. It can't just win fights but not really activate. It's got to become the X factor. Another smoke blooms on top of Monster. Flashes in, 1 from Grizz, and he might be able to reposition. He's helped out by Chop. It's a good rotation down. And he'll be able to hold the line as JBA tries to come through short. His pathway blocked, and he's sent back down to the watery grave. Stanislaw and Fozy, the last 2 alive, stuck in sewers. And something smells about this round for Wildcard. It's not going their way at all. Quite the contrary. Nade goes in. Chop will take some more damage. But there's no real options left for Wildcard. They have to fight their way somewhere. And this boost could yield a kill. But as it stands, everything is pretty much just do some damage before you die. And Chop does fall. There is that at least. But the rotations are in. Sixy's got Con. The only outlet is T-Spawn. Do they even want to save here? I don't think so. There's no real reason to. They have money. They're going to go in, and if they get 2 kills out of this, it'd be very impressive. Which they don't. It's Grizz instead. Good strong hold from Grizz. Double op? No, yeah. No, get the AK back.
He's looking to give an AK to his teammate and go grab another. Works out in the end. 4 apiece. Marsborne, very good individual performance there. I like the idea from Wildcard. They got the information. They saw the foot of Grizz on the right side of Monster. Their right, Grizz's left. And so they thought, pop over, get the kill, or if not, the trade, and go from there. The issue is they didn't expect Chop to be around the pillar. They most certainly didn't expect Chop to get a double kill to shut things down entirely. Very well done, very well set up from the Marsborne defense. It might have struggled at the start. When it finds its footing, it is a very potent mixture, a potent setup indeed. Opdual might be coming through. Yes, it is. Wolfie compelled to take the fight. Fozy spots the first peek and takes the shot on the second. Viz now next to Bat is in bathrooms. Is good kill on the first, and the spacing isn't there. They can't go for the trade. Instead, they'll just bypass him, go up Sands over towards A. Viz actually has support in long as well. He'll get in front of that Molotov. Doesn't get. Oh, he does get one. He catches Fozy as he falls. 60's known to be here, and Peeping catches him. Advantage back to Wildcard as they get the bomb down. Grizz and Chop approaching from two very different angles.
It's a classic overpass split, one through Con, one through CT spawn, and the connector player goes down. I don't think there's anything Chop can do now. He's going to have to save again. His Wildcard will keep a lead, much like what happened on that first half of Train. Back and forth, Wildcard eked it out and eventually got the 8-4 half. We're seeing a similar pattern here, beginning, except they're on the T side now. And I'd like to see a tactical timeout come through from Marsborne. Something's not working. Something's not right.
Terrorists win.
And I don't even think it's necessarily an issue of firepower or winning duels. They're just putting themselves in bad spots.
Yeah, their spots are getting red. They have good setups early on. Not the best, but the issue is Wildcard know immediately how to pivot in response. They get the information, they get an even trade, maybe even get down by one on the side of Wildcard, but they know immediately where to go, what should be open given that information. Marsborne needs something fresh on this defense to catch Wildcard lacking, catch them misreading. So if they can't do that, then it should be a foregone conclusion on this one. Fozy's off, sidesteps the op of his opponents, and he'll actually find the first at long. Stan is the one to catch 60, and Wolfie's caught looking. Fiku expects that, sprays him away, and again, a setup is figured out and dismantled. This time around, it is far more catastrophic for Marsborne, who find themselves trailing, let's say 1v5, make that a none v5 as Peeping finds them both over towards B. 6-4 for Wildcard on this T side. 7 seems all but guaranteed given the economy. And at this point, do you even waste a timeout when it's so close to the end of the half? When your economy's so low? Because
no.
Marsborne, things aren't looking good.
Although at the same time, can you really afford to lose this half 7-5 or even 8-6 or 8-4? And you really need CT rounds here. And they haven't been able to do that. They've just been outplayed, outread, out-overpassed by Wildcard. And it makes sense. Stanislaus always loved this map. He's always had solid records on this map throughout his career. And I'm sure he's taught his tutelage as well, as evidenced by how they're playing. But again, too, just that last round, the op peek out towards long. It's not the first time that same exact duel has been won. In fact, it's about the third. It's just Marsborne are making the same mistakes over and over again without changing the game plan, without fixing it.
They don't even see
that's
play in
of course what
bathrooms.
reviews are for. But you have to make adjustments in game. And look at this. A-side's wide open. Just Fiku waltzes all in. Doesn't see a single soul.
Spotted.
That might change things. The trade does cause a little bit of a problem. It's still not great, though, for Marsborne, regardless of the information and the weaponry. It's overall a very bad position to be in.
Yeah, it's still awful. This isn't going to stop the bomb plant either. Was he spotted? Fozy is very weary of that, knows that it's a possibility. He'll get the kill. Fiku, that player pushing in, and finds nothing. So now things can get awkward. Fozy has his deagle out looking for one. Runs forward, gets one, and only one. Grizz, a good trade. Even footing 2 versus 2. JBA, though, finds the first. The second one at Optimus. Doesn't even have a primary weapon. It's Wolfie, and he's cut down by the AK of Peeping. Wildcard, secure that round. Marsborne, though, given some good information, yet still unable to capitalize due to the lack of firepower.
Yeah, what could they do here?
I want to see the A defense play in bathroom.
You want to see the A defense in bathrooms?
Like back
Overpass
here. It's classic. That's the last thing I remember from Counter-Strike. It's playing in bathrooms. That's the last thing I remember.
Yeah, play bathrooms and play con.
Exactly. Wolfie. Where do you get the op kill?
Read.
At long. He catches Fiku. That is a good read. A good adjustment. 60.
Nice.
I don't know if he came out con. I think he did. He's been playing con the last couple rounds. Gets a double.
I think they blew open the door from the site nade, and he finally popped through that smoke.
Finally, some adjustments. Too little, too late is the question. 5 versus 1 against JBA. 5-7 score, all but guaranteed. Now guaranteed. 60 puts the final nail in the coffin. Marsborne recover with the final round of the first half. The question is, will it be enough to get them to that third, or will they fall in 2? We'll see when we return from the break.
A good start, but Marsborne fizzled out. Wildcard, a lead going into the CT half of Overpass, their map pick. Boggs and Pineapple Phillips with you for this grand final in North America. The second ESL Challenger League Season 50 North American Cup. The Marsborne pick went the way of Wildcard. The Wildcard pick leaning the way of Wildcard. And it seems that Stan & Co. might just be able to claim that spot at the NA Finals. Pistol round is pretty critical for Marsborne, as they started off with a kill from Grizz, but he is traded right out. Fozy another one. Fozy with 2, but Chop and Sixy trade it back. Fiku maintains the man advantage, and it's all up to Sixy. Bomb on his back, no armor. Has a smoke he throws on front dice, and he's spotted on his cross. Get the bomb down at the very least. That's something. But can he turn this into a win? He pops through the smoke, and Fiku is there, right on the bomb. And Wildcard win the critical pistol. But the bomb plant means this next round is all the more important.
Counter-terrorists win.
Very likely force coming out of Marsborne. There it is. Back 10s, Tech 9s. No rifles, no dropped Galils or dropped AKs. But a lot of utility, a plethora of it for this T side, and that does help you sow chaos. Smoke tunnel to run through.
Couple flashes over. Just push with it.
3 MP9s and 2 M4s to rival. What is the cost? Water control, con control. One player was lurking over back in spawn. I thought it was towards A, but he actually falls back to monster instead. Like a straight execute on to B is the name of the game. Stanislaw all the way back towards Graffiti. Does damage with the MP9. Struggle at range. JBA finds 2. Stanislaw 1. Viz and Wolfie find 2 in the meanwhile. Bomb will go down. But JBA staying alive is critical. It means that he can maintain some control, some space. Force Wolfie and Grizz in towards CT spawn instead.
Little spams, not really doing much as JBA finally cuts down Grizz. Fozy has Wolfie, and so the Marsborne force falls apart. It unravels. And Wildcard creep further away from their opponent and closer to that spot at the NA Finals. Will Marsborne force again is the question.
Surely not.
I can see it. There's a world in which they force again. Is it a good idea? Probably not. I think a half buy here, definitely a smarter call.
The Tech 9s and armor would be pretty good, or Deagles.
I like the Tech 9 armor play a lot more because you have the protection. It gives you a little more versatility, and you could take more damage, especially when Molotovs rain through. Nade goes high. But I guess if you can hit the Deagle shots, it'll work. With the bomb drop T-spawn, I feel like Marsborne are just going for damage here. They're not exactly looking for kills, and Grizz gets one luckily through that smoke. That's a big start for Marsborne, at least in the damage department. Maybe they can get a little bit more here. But they are not even hanging on by a thread, Nate. They're in free fall and hoping their parachute can open.
Yeah. They're doing a low open. The back of a cargo plane, hoping that the rope that's supposed to be connected to the plane and auto-deploys does in fact auto-deploy.
And so far it hasn't. And the altimeter is starting to get a little bit small. The ground's looking mighty big.
It always looks big. Slow walk now. And there's the contact taking Fozy. 2 on the spray down, the A4 shining. A 3rd for him. Not quite the 4th, but he's still kicking. Albeit low. Swing comes through. Viz gets the kill at long last. But that rifle's not really recoverable. So this is still very much in the favor of a wild card. Grizz does grab it, but he has to reload. All 3 coming from CT. Does help Marsborne back up and group together. But this push from Bank, unexpected, gets 1, spots the 2nd. It actually gets them both. It's Fiku with a double. And a 10th on the board for Wildcard. But the bomb plant with the half buy means that there's going to be a very solid investment in this next round.
But there's not a lot of room for error for Marsborne. It's a 10-5 lead for Wildcard, 3 away from dispatching Marsborne in 2-0 fashion. Making this a pretty quick night. Marsborne need to stick around, do everything they can to survive. Win and just claw it one round at a time. You can't look at the big picture, at the big number, if you're Marsborne. Just have to look at each round that's in front of you. First contact towards Sewer, good flash in, but not good enough as Chop wins the first, but Fozy continues to win the Opper's duel. He has had Wolfie's number. He's had everybody's number on Marsborne as he leads the scoreboard. 17-9 right now. JBA at 13-10. He's definitely had a good performance this series as well. But Fozy, he's been on another level. And that's exactly what you want to see with him, especially after everything that happened. If you are a Wildcard fan, seeing Fozy come back and slot back in so perfectly is a very good sign.
Absolutely it is. It's like he never left. Still doing very solid. Still part of a well-oiled machine. 4 versus 4. And Fiku's on this flank. 48 seconds left. When do they move? 60. Gonna be cleared. Yep, done and dusted. That's bomb now as well, spotted by Fiku. Fozy's gonna close the gap now on this flank in towards short. Perfectly timed on the up, finds one. Can't get the flick on the second, but advantage nonetheless. Rests with the defense, 3 versus 2. Chop using all of his utility to try and get that bomb back into his control. And where do they go? Up Con, I think, is the safest route, but even then, Stanislaw is still up above waiting for them. He hears them both, spots them both, lines them up as well. 2 kills for him and an 11th for Wildcard. No bomb plant. Means that Wildcard's economy isn't great either. Or Marsborne's money isn't great either, excuse me. And they're out of time at this point. 11-5, 2 rounds away from losing this map and the series. They feel compelled to go for it. It's still not a bad investment. It's just not as good as the one prior. And if the last one didn't work, what makes this one different?
Well, it all comes down to the individual. It all comes down to what they can do. And that nade is so damaging. It limits what they can perform. 3 players all around the 70 HP mark. Great little bit of chip damage, chunk damage. And Fiku playing back bathrooms, Nate. What a concept. Playing back bathrooms on Overpass. Never seen that before. Yields a kill. And he might get a second out of this as well. He will. Does he get the third? No. But 2 is more than enough here. Wolfie, a second though. A Stan just runs through smoke at jump up. A bit of a premature move from the veteran. Another nade rains in on Viz, and it has to be a save here from Wildcard as Marsborne will close that gap back to 5. That's a big effort by Wolfie on the rifle. That, I'm not going to say it's enough to start a comeback yet, but it is something that is a promising sign from Marsborne here, and those have been few and far between in this series.
Yes, hold on to whatever you can, whatever glimmer of hope that gets you there. Bomb will go off. And Marsborne aren't really hunting either.
Terrorists win.
Wildcard don't have the most amount of money to be able to. They'll be able to invest another time, this time. But after that, it might be a little bit tenuous if they lose too many players, so they can get their 12th now to take a lot of pressure off their shoulders, make it easier. Marsborne, full investment, you'd expect nothing less. Wolfie, gonna try to win this duel outside monster. Fozy is here. Opper's duel. You said it's been won by Fozy every time. This time, though, it's Wolfie's turn at bat, and he will crack it out of the park. Good kill onto the opener. Onto Fozy. JBA spam in response does a boatload of damage to Wolfie.
That's a timely win for Wolfie, because Marsborne could not afford to lose another round. That is a good start, and they get a gift onto Fiku, but Viz runs right into the stack. Just trying to activate and claim more space, doesn't expect that, and I don't know why you would. I wouldn't expect that.
I didn't even
3
know that was
versus
trap.
4.
All 4. Leaning towards A. Front of that smoke is 1. Wolfie holding this angle. Not even needed. Grizz instead finds Stan. And we'll see an outcome much like the round prior. JBA and Peeping this time around the pair. Gonna go ahead and save. They have that op in hand as well for Fozy in the following. Assuming they're allowed to live. And with the double save, they might be able to scrounge something together. I believe JBA will just be able to afford a rifle for himself. Peeping should be able to drop one as well. And then Stan might have to make do with an MP9 or something similar. It will still be something to offer resistance, but Marsborne, they're getting their act together, and they still have just enough room to pull off a comeback.
Terrorists win.
It's one round at a time right now for Marsborne. Just have to keep clawing it back. And at some point, too, you have to expect a tactical timeout from Wildcard. Unless they win this round, then I think they'll be confident in being able to close this out. But Marsborne are getting a little bit more confident. They're getting kills from Grizz. They're getting entries. They're getting the impact. Viz. There's one onto Fiku. Flash in, JBA spotted back pillar. 6E sprays away, but he's done, so is Viz. Fozy strikes, man advantage to Wildcard. JBA low on health, still around the pillar. Peeping takes damage as well. Marsborne looked to be committed towards this B site for a moment longer, but the boost over top takes down Grizz. And time is running out on Marsborne's star, but they buy a little bit more time with that pick on JBA. 2 versus 3. Stan, Peeping, Fozy, 2 on B, and Stan catches timing. It's up to Wolfie. He's got 1, but so much more to do. Slips up Con, expecting somebody back, and Peeping falls as well. Fozy last man standing as Wolfie hits him with the bait and switch. But at some point, Fozy's going to figure this out, whether that's the bomb plant or whether he's thinking, wait, why isn't he here yet? He's played me like a fiddle. And I think that's going to happen shortly. Fozy getting aggressive, looking. Trying to figure out where in Tarnation Wolfie slipped off to. As the bomb goes down in an Opper's duel for such a critical round. The most critical round in this entire match. As Marsborne's fate hangs in the balance.
Yes, it does. Fozy gonna go for this flank the very same route that Wolfie took up connector. Wolfie, he's just tucked long. Time is of the essence. Fozy is walking the whole way down, and bomb is ticking away. He might just be going for the exit.
Maybe, yeah.
Is.
Yeah.
Wolfie, a 1 versus 3 on the op. What a tremendous play from him, and Marsborne, that's what they needed. They needed the individuals to wake up if they wanted a chance to come back into this map, and right now, the individuals are at least doing something.
Well, Marsborne are the ones who call a timeout after that, interestingly enough. I would have figured it would have been a wild card one, but maybe Marsborne feel like they need to talk a couple things over, maybe even calm the comms down. As you were so fond of saying, Nate, comms are a mess.
Comms are a mess. I'm sure they are over there as well. Take the pause, capitalize on your advantage. You know the economy at this point of the CT side is pretty much broken. Go for a different play. Break it entirely. Make sure you have that advantage. Turn it into a 9th, maybe even a 10th if you're lucky. Don't let this momentum stall. Right when you're beginning to hope, don't let it stall. Early smoke fountain from the CTs. It is a half buy from them. One hero rifle purchased up for peeping, and then an op for Fozy. This is a boost up top sandbags outside at water. Biz, though, drops the op of Fozy. Where was that? Can it be recovered? No, it can't. It pushed up long alone. As the solo A defender, they put all the eggs in the op basket and left it on not even an island. It is across the world from anywhere relevant. Defense already backing up, scrambling over towards A, worried that their stack is known. And Marsborne, biding their time, are already beginning to move in towards B.
They'll figure out it's clear soon enough as Chop begins to poke through Monster. No one spotted. Not a soul in sight. And the bomb will soon be joining it as the gamble stack will find nothing. At least the op, in theory, could be recovered. Sure, Wildcard will try. But Viz is here, and he's got the first trial. He's passed it. Still a few more left. Although I don't think Peeping's going to risk that M4. And JBA probably shouldn't risk the Kevlar. A triple push, though. This is a gutsy play by Wildcard, putting all their eggs again into the op basket, this time to try and save it from the looks of things. In they come. Viz gets drive-by. The op may be recovered, but here comes 6E. The cavalry is here. The first is down. Flash goes high. There's two rifles on the other side. Chops come from the back lines. And no survivors for Wildcard. As 6E and Chop come in with a nice pincer maneuver and shut it all down. Buys back for Wildcard as their lead has deteriorated to 2 rounds. But where have we seen this, Nate? Where have we seen this kind of a tight scoreline late in a map?
Train.
Want to go.
Train was just like this. Surprised we don't see attack boss coming into this round for Wildcard.
Seriously.
They have their full rifle buy, so they know something we don't. Fozy posted from pillar for 6Z. First man slinked out into the cubby. They'll go with that flash. Fozy, those too quick, gets the kill while being blinded. While that fire will burn out one, Fozy will be tagged by the nade as well. It's still the man advantage for Wildcard nonetheless. You might have gotten that spot there. I don't think so, though. Keeping gonna activate over towards short water with his teammate. Grizz gets one, peeping a good trade, falls back immediately. Marsborne still looking to go towards A. Chop finds 2. Stanislaw peeping, trying to get aggressive, reassert control towards Monster, and they're both caught unawares. Wolfie catches Fozy rotating in heaven. And this defense looked so solid, given an opportunity, an opening, and it has fallen. It has crumbled completely. Fiku now is left in a 1v3. He found the first, gifted that one due to a whiffed spray, but he still has to fight an uphill battle. Time is of the essence. He has the kit. At this point, even damage doesn't do much to this T side. Marsborne have simply won too much. Fiku. Gonna save, but Marsborne at this point have pretty much tied up this game.
They've won too much. I don't think they'll get sick of winning, though, Nate. They still have a few more rounds to go before they can take us to a third. Inferno is beginning to grow larger in the viewport. It's Marsborne. Move ever closer. Here's that timeout from Wildcard. on a round they won't exactly have a full investment into. And I know if you've heard us talk about these sorts of things before, our opinion is you want to go ahead and get it for the gun round. I think last round, like you mentioned, would have been a great time to do it, especially before it got to a 1-round deficit. This is just really cutting it down to the wire if you're Wildcard. Making life a little bit more difficult on yourself than you need to.
Yeah, because they're in their own heads. Losing their own game. Looks so solid at the start of the second half. Historically, it's looked better on this CT side, and yet they have fallen completely flat. Fallen from good graces. As now it's their turn to prove they have just enough left in the tank to get across the line to close this out 2-0. Half by for Wildcard. An aggression in towards water again. This time around it does yield an opening. It yields a double kill. Fozy's low, but he gets 2. Fiku gets a 3rd, and Khan, and the aggression this time around pays off. The final pair, Wolfie and Viz, outside Monster, and wondering what to do at this stage. They're both just walking back and forth, looking for an opening, looking for some space, but even if they have the space they need to work with, what can they do with it? They're simply outgunned at this stage, down by 3.
Look at the health. Peeping, Fiku, and Fozy, critically low. They can drop a healthy player, take out a couple low HP players, then maybe there's a chance. Peeping forced into the open, but Wolfie takes too much damage on that contact. Smoke goes down, Molotov in. What a spot by Viz, and the molly catches Fozy. We're in a 2v2 now, there is a chance. 47 seconds to go in the round, and I believe Viz might just have heard something towards the lane. As he backs up, keeps an eye on Khan. Fiku retreats, looking for a rotate towards party. As the bomb works its way on site. The long way round. 2 smokes and a flashbang here for Marsborne. No util over on the Wildcard side. Wolfie drops that smoke, that reveals Stan's position. And now, Fiku begins to activate. Viz, peeking, pushing, gets the freebie. As Stan runs to heaven. Repositions and sees nothing. Bomb ticking away, Stan no kit. That was on Fiku. Over towards Khan. Don't see any on site either. He's got a 10-second defuse ahead of himself, and he's got to get past the first hurdle. Clears that well. But Viz is the last man standing, and he has not taken the bait. The time is up. And we're getting a tie ball game here, as Viz continues to just buy more and more time, forcing Stanislav back into the site. Both players will go down here. There will be no survivors, I believe. Viz might be fine. Yeah, he was able to get back. Good quick alertness to back away from that very nerfed bomb radius compared to something like Ancient or Nuke. But what a resurgence from Marsborne, as Wildcard, just stunned, can do nothing to stop this Marsborne team now. And even when they do everything right, there's a hero. And the cape was donned by Viz.
It was a 5v2. Wildcard, being aggressive, finding the advantage, and it still just falls apart, crumbles in real time. Aggression, again, this time from the T side, yields an advantage once more for the defense, but can they get it across the line? It looks like they will this time around. It's just 6C. He has the individual to pull it back. He has 5 HP. He might just burn. He's at 3 HP now, and they know he's short. They know he's here. The flames of Fozy put him to rest. And finally, Wildcard secure a map point, but they only have 1 round to play with, and if they falter, it will be overtime.
It's either overtime or Marsborne's out of time. The buys are in. Up and up. Rifles around the rest. Utility on everybody. Kits, helmet, nobody lacks. JBA sprays down, takes down Chop. Peeping and JBA, though, both take a considerable amount of damage. That is something to keep an eye on later in the round. We already saw one turn away later.
Feeling the hurt from his teammate there. Double dinked in the back. Cozy. Stop. Oh, he misses the opportunity towards bottom sands. He will at least fall back to sight. Opera's duel potentially on the cards here. Flash and good peek from Fozy. Self flash into the peek, gets one, spots a second, maybe even a spot at the third in the chaos. 5v3, but never count Marsborne out, not at this stage. 45 seconds left for Viz, Grizz, and Sigsy. Try and claw their way to overtime. All just sitting, hoping for an over-aggression from Wildcard. No such luck for this T-side. They're going to have to do it the hard way. 20 seconds left. Sigsy has the lineup for utility, but Fozy has the peak on to Viz. Grizz trying to get the trade, will not be successful. Rotations have come in. Stan finds one spot. It's the last. It's just Sigsy, and he's dropped by Fozy's op. No overtime is required. Wildcard, they were absent from the server for what felt like 10 rounds, but they still get it across the line in the end. They just wanted to make sure they sweat a little before they take the victory.
They wanted to give the